Senate will be in order. For the purposes of announcements, does any individual seek recognition? Associate Speaker Amherst.
Hi, everyone. I hope you all had a great spring break. I'm feeling pretty motivated to come back. I hope you guys are too. Like, it was a nice little recharge. I just wanted to remind everyone about the excused absence form. Unless there's proof of documentation, unless it is like an illness, which I'll use that up to my discretion for the most part, because I know there are some things that obviously you're not maybe going to want to put on as proof as the excused absence form. If it's like an exam or something, I need that proof, whether that be like a screenshot or a picture. I've said this a lot, but it's still happening. So I just wanted to like remind everyone of that. And just again, remind everyone that your constituents voted for you and elected you to these positions. So we should be showing up. And for any reason, if there is a reason where you feel like you're not able to show up as much or you're kind of dropping off from it, just give Michael and I an email. We'll be more than welcome to have a chat with you and kind of discuss like your position and whether like SGA is like still a good fit for you or not. But I wanted to remind everyone of that because I have been sending a lot of resignation emails. Are there any questions? Okay, cool. Thank you.
Does any other individual seek recognition? Senator Borowski is recognized. This one. Oh, and I'm going to come over there. That's good.
Hey guys, hope everybody had a great spring break, restful or wild, depending on what you do. Cabinet applications close tomorrow at midnight. I know everybody's so pumped about that. I encourage everybody in this room to apply. You can really find just about any specialty. I mean, there's 12 positions, just about anything you want to do. One of the grounds is covered there. I fully recommend everybody in here doing it. There's a lot of talent, and I look forward to seeing you guys on my team. Thank you.
President Humphreys.
Hi, everybody. So I got a few exciting announcements. First and foremost, we are looking for someone to serve on the Assistant Ombudsman Search Committee. What that does is they are specialized in conflict resolution. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in helping do, search committees are a really cool time. You get to interview candidates and you get to, kind of, what's the word for it? You get to, sort of have your input in who gets hired for these important positions. So if you're interested in that, please reach out to me. You can email me, text me if you have it. Also, I'm excited to announce that the university is launching an effort to really improve our branding and our school spirit. And they have formed a committee/task force to do that. And they have some subcommittees in which they are looking for student representatives from the SGA on. Those are, I can send out more information after, but those are campus experience, which is creating spots on campus for people to demonstrate their school spirit. For example, they're actually right out, you might have seen the big tent outside of Whitmore. That is going to be a giant UMass Amherst sign that everyone's going to take pictures in front of. Events, having more events on campus for school spirit. Marketing, which is, like the social media stuff, the stuff that we send out to people who get accepted here, kind of getting our brand around. And then swag and merch, figuring out how we can evolve our school swag. Both Secretary Ahmad and I met with Nancy Buffone, who's in charge of the effort today. And, we're really discussing ways that we can make our athletic events more engaging, our, our homecoming and our graduation events, as well as we discussed a lot about how we can get our student groups more involved and build larger platforms for them as well. And really just kind of one of the things that we've sort of determined is that UMass is kind of lacking in its school spirit in comparison to other similar universities like UMass. So we kind of want to get ourselves up there and in the same stratosphere, because that will actually help really bring in important money and resources, and it'll improve fundraising bases for discussions we've had about the budgets. So it's a really cool thing. If you're interested, email me or send a message. I'll send something in the group me later with the information on those, so you guys can take a look at exactly which ones are which and decide if there's any that you have preference for. So, any questions about any of that?
Senator Prabhakar.
What impact do you think that increased school spirit is going to have on the community? Like, why is that important?
Yeah, so I think that it comes in a couple of important impacts. First of all, it'll increase support for our student groups, especially as they try to get fundraising. We want to engage our alumni more because they're the ones that donate. Also would improve the amount of funding that the school has to spend on programs. It'll attract more people from around the country to come study here, to come work here, to be a part of the community. We also want to outreach into it'll help the economies of our surrounding towns, including, we've talked a lot about how we want to kind of expand into some of the rural communities around us that are really struggling economically right now and are actually really, even though the town of Amherst doesn't really seem to want us that much, the towns, if you go out 2 or 3 towns, they're really begging for more business and more engagement because they are unfortunately in a situation where their economies are not doing so well right now and their outlooks are not great because they don't have a lot of people coming into the area. Additionally, I think that it would really, for example, we don't want like this school to be about like the only events here to be like Blarney every year. We want to make it that people actually, that there are events that people can do that don't involve like drinking and being destructive. And also we want to make it so that our athletic teams and our clubs and our dance groups and our singing groups can all benefit from increased audiences. And generally, actually, when you have a better crowd at these sports games, it tends to create better on the field product and builds momentum for the teams. And on the end, also, the more teams we have, the more money that comes in. So at the end of the day, building our brand can really increase the amount of money that we have. We don't exactly have concrete numbers of what that would look like yet because we're in the early stages of this. But ultimately, what we want to do is we want to increase, you think of schools like Penn State and University of Michigan, like they have giant reaches, and we want to kind of, improve our reach. Michael?
Senator Nevins.
First and foremost, this all makes sense. I think during a normal period of time that this is something we should absolutely pursue. Less of a question for you, more so something that I think because we're in the early stages, we can start advocating for now. Javier Reyes sent an email out today talking about rescinding funding for PhD students. They're not doing a hiring freeze, but they're being more strategic about their hiring, on and on and on, more so protecting themselves from the possibility of federal funding being freezed. So I'm wondering, what's the cost of all of this? Why are we focusing on, this and we're not focusing on funding for PhD students? Yes, this is important, but we are an academic institution. We're going to be defunding our PhD students and putting money towards getting a really big sign. I think, it's important to get people excited about being here and getting alumni excited to donate and do these things, but also I just don't understand why we're going to spend money on a big UMass sign when we're getting emails like this.
So I would like to first start by saying I am going to address actually that email that you mentioned during my report out, that when I come up for my regular report out. So that is, I do have some remarks on that. So, I do want to acknowledge that later on. But secondly, I would say first and foremost, I think that obviously the decisions that were made were devastating. No one is doubting that. I also understand that, nobody at this university wanted to make that decision. What is happening at the federal government level right now is, quite frankly, just terrible. But first of all, this is an exploratory phase. We have not committed ourselves to any projects yet. We have not committed to any expenses yet. And of course, we are, this, in the email, it very clearly specifies any major capital project with $50,000 or over has to be approved by the vice chancellor. So with that in mind, we are going to be considering this as we do this work and making sure that we are finding cost efficient ways to do this. We're not going to go out and spend a bunch of money right now. We're going to follow the guidelines of the email that the chancellor has sent out and stick within that. So I can't speak to exactly what costs will look like yet because we haven't gotten to that point. Right now, we're just kind of getting ideas and hearing from students about how they engage with the university. And obviously, given the current climate and the current uncertainty of funding, I find it highly unlikely that we would spend a large amount of money on something. That being said, we have a lot of different units on our university. So I can assure you, so the people who are working on this particular project, their job is to work on university relations. These are university relations administrators. These are people who, for example, the people who are, I can actually read you the 4 people who are leading these committees. We have Nancy Buffone, whose job is to do this. We have Jonathan Tunwar, who leads our orientation programs with the Dean of Students Office. Lisa Ryan, also with University Relations, and Jeff Smith, who's with Athletics. So at the same time, we also have faculty members who oversee our PhD programs and managing those grants. And those faculty members are still very much working on those things. And I would say if you were to ask the chancellor, that's probably the top thing on his mind right now. However, we also can't completely halt, we don't want to completely halt all business as usual at our university because that's what the administration wants. That's what quite frankly, that's what the Trump administration would like to see us do. They'd like to see us not thrive. And, we have a responsibility to continue to come in and do the work that we're doing to ensure that the school can continue to thrive and grow and, in spite of what's being thrown at us. And, really part of the branding we discussed today actually was really showcasing how the research we do here is changing the world, saving lives, and innovating our society. And by marketing that out there, we're hoping to also spread the message that this is important work and this is work that we need support to do. So I think the branding outreach actually will help kind of hopefully make more people aware that this is an important thing.
Additional questions? Senator Borowski.
Sorry, just a technical question. So you said this was an administration committee and student representatives are invited to be on the subcommittees?
So there is representatives on the steering committee. Right now, that is currently myself and Secretary Ahmad. Actually, you'll probably be taking my spot on that steering committee in a couple of months. And the reason we made those decisions, they asked for 2 representatives. I thought Secretary Ahmad would make a lot of sense given her work is in public relations. And then I also, even before part of the reason this has been formed is because in earlier meetings of the University Relations Student Advisory Board, I had really pushed for this to become an effort. So I wanted to kind of be a part of at least the start of it. But actually, I'm really hoping that you'll continue this effort because I think it's a really important thing. And I think that but the point of the subcommittees is we want to have even more students involved. And obviously, I'm not going to sit on all the subcommittees. So we're looking for 1 or 2 students to do each of those as well. And again, the steering committee is just kind of the thing that keeps the whole ship together. I think the subcommittees is where a lot of the major work and discussions are going to be done, and they're going to specialize in those specific areas.
Additional questions? Senator Rue.
There you go.
Okay. Sorry. Wow. Now I'm trying to remember my question. Oh, so just to be clear, so far would this effort to improve school spirit just be based on new merchandise or just branding in general, or also investing more in the sports teams? Because I feel like one of the biggest factors in how much school spirit there is just the performance of teams. And I feel like that's often a multi-million-dollar, multi-decade investment. Where like we've seen it with the football team, where they've been trying to do the same thing, where they're paying around like high six figures to these like coaches to like make the football team like a prime D1 team, and it's, I mean, just in the first decade, it's still been like a big struggle to make progress. So just like wondering what the full like extent of these efforts are.
So I do want to share a quick anecdote that I could also answer your question because about kind of what we discussed. But yeah, one of the things actually that I think a lot of people weren't aware of is, and it is true, that some of our teams have struggled. And one of the things a lot of people weren't aware of, though, last year as president, I tried to attend as many of the home games as I could, and there was a game where we were up 14 points, and we could have won the thing. There was actually quite a few where we were right there, but the problem was no one was in the crowd. People went home, no one was cheering, and that can actually be really deflating for our student athletes. And I think that also could be applied for arts groups, that could be applied for cultural groups, that could be applied for our RSOs, that not having people in attendance can really make or break their groups. And I think that, had there been, a crowd cheering there, we lost in overtime in that game. And I thought to myself, maybe if we had that momentum here, maybe we could have won this game because we had it and we lost it. And I think a lot of other things that people didn't realize is that we were so close, but yet people weren't turning up. I remember a time when UMass football got blown out every week. They actually have grown a lot. But to answer your question more broadly, that is a part of it, but I'd say it goes a lot deeper than that. For example, one of the things that we actually talked about doing was really reinvigorating the entire fan experience. Like we want to have, for example, including some of our RSOs, having special weeks where maybe like, UMass Dudok, for example, does a performance at halftime with the band. Just spitting stuff out there. But like that way you kind of get more people interested in attending our games and making it more of an all-inclusive experience. So it's not just for the people who like football, but it could be an experience for the whole community. And I think that also I could think of we have a lot of great a cappella groups on this campus. We have a lot of great dance groups, a lot of which that we fund. So this would be another way to support our student groups and to give them more of a platform as well. And so that was something we talked a lot about. We also just talked a lot about, getting our branding out there to really both attract students and faculty to UMass, because, to improve the quality of the research here, to continue to bring in bright minds, and to let people know that UMass is a place where we are continuing to fight through and do this research, and that we want people to come here and change the world. And because a lot of schools right now, it's not great anywhere in this country, but believe me, it is a lot worse in a lot of other states. We have it pretty good here in Massachusetts. That's not to say that there aren't, I want to be clear, that's not to say that there aren't, I'm not still aware of how this may impact our students, but I also do want to note that UMass has still been a leader in the country in terms of its ability to, our projections look a lot better than it does across the country right now. And that is really unfortunate because I wish nowhere in the country was dealing with this, but also, I think we have a responsibility as a campus community to continue to be a place where we should take advantage of the opportunity here that we have as a result of people who, are being pushed out of their other universities, not allowed to do DEI work, for example, not allowed to do certain kinds of scientific research. And we should be inviting those people to come to UMass Amherst. And I know some budgetary things that are happening, has made things a little bit complicated, but also I think still, again, we'll talk about these things more during my report out, but there still is a lot of opportunities here at UMass. And until that isn't the case, I really want to make this a place where people can come. And I think that the more we get our branding out into the community, like talking about, I want to be able to go into Boston and see UMass stuff. I think sometimes Boston likes to forget that we're out here sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. Sometimes, I go to the East Coast and they just think UMass is this crazy party school. I want to make it known to the state and the country that this is a place worth supporting, and we want to draw in the support of the other people from across our communities and across our nation, because that support turns into financial gain. And that would actually prop up all of the programs that we're doing here in the community at UMass. And of course, I or whoever the SGA president is, if and when this happens, is going to advocate for that money to be put into things that helps our students. And perhaps, that could be used to, if we are risking losing federal funding, I don't think it's a bad thing right now to increase our donation base, to increase our sort of outreach with the communities and alumni and getting people to support our university through these times, because that's what's going to help us get through this.
We'll take one more question.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Well,
I think
thank
great
you.
discussion.
Any other individual seek recognition? Senator Walker Hoover. And then after is Senator Prabhakar. Okay, then we'll wrap up announcements after that.
Good evening. Good evening. Try one more time. Good evening. That's much better. I love the energy. I just got back from Washington, D.C. I was honored to be selected as part of the NAACP Junior and College Division. We helped recharter the U.S. Student Association. So we had training for protest, lobby observation, lobbying congressmen, stuff like that. And it was like a whole weekend seminar project. And on Monday, we ended up protesting outside the Capitol building for students' First Amendment rights, because I know there was encampments here last spring where students were rounded up, policed. But we pretty much wanted to protect students' First Amendment rights, protect the Pell Grant, because I know some of you guys are Pell Grant recipients. I myself am a Pell Grant recipient. Stand up for the Department of Education because Trump administration is trying to dismantle it. And yeah, I talked to Congressman McGovern, who's the congressman in this area, told him about our efforts here. And I was awarded the Certificate of Leadership by the NAACP Youth and College Division. And so just wanted to bring that to your awareness. We're going to be doing some big things with the U.S. Student Association. You can follow them on Instagram, follow them online. And we're just trying to unite students nationwide to stand up to the Trump administration, to fight for First Amendment rights, and to protect the Department of Education. So thank you. All right, any questions?
Any questions? All right, thank you. And Senator Prabhakar. And we'll move on to the approval of the minutes.
Hello, everyone. I am giving my first of, I guess, probably 3 announcements that I'll be giving on this topic, which is to let you guys know that on April 10th, which is a Thursday, about 2 weeks from now, Phenom is visiting the Massachusetts State House, and we're going to be advocating for increased financial aid access in the 2026 budget. Basically, what happened is the governor has suggested a slight reduction in the actual state scholarship amount that they fund every year. Which is just crazy given the fact that tuition is going up, enrollment is going up. The federal financial aid might get cut. It's not a good time to be disinvesting in students' futures. And so we're going to State House to tell them, please raise this back up to level funding at the very least. So I'd love to see some of you guys come with us if you are interested in going to the State House, meeting some legislators, having a cool experience. Please let me know and I will get you set up with a ride and we can talk about it. Thank you.
Any questions? Chair Nyeka.
What time is it going to be at?
Pretty much all day. So you'll have to kind of block off the day. I think we're going to leave about 8 o'clock and probably come back here by 5:30.
Okay, thank you.
Questions? Okay, thank you. All right. So speaker will record the roll call.
Senator Adeni, Senator Anim, Senator Areola, Senator Bauman, Senator Black, Senator Borowski, Senator Butusova, Chair Centenaro, Senator Chamu, Senator Cook, Senator DeMarco, Senator Duarte, Chair Duvetti, Senator Eze, Senator Ficisio, Senator Gatto, Senator Germain, Senator Hercule, Senator Hiranandani, Senator Holohan, Senator Ibrahim, Senator Imran, Senator Kim, Senator Kim, Senator Lequier, Senator Lay, Senator Lefort, Senator Molesky, Senator Malari, Senator Monda, Chair Mazzando, Senator Mello, Senator Nashi, Senator Nevins, Senator Wynn, Chair Onyeka, Senator Patuk, Senator Fawn, Senator Prabhakar, Chair Rabin, Senator Rue, Chair Sarna, Senator Shi, Chair Stamen, Senator Silveria, Senator Chow, Chair Tran, Senator Verma, Senator Walker Hoover. Counts 39.
All right, with 39 voting members, a quorum is present. The minutes from the last Senate meeting were sent out to you all 48 hours prior. Are there any corrections to the minutes? There being none, the minutes stand approved without objection. So for Committee of the Whole today, we do have a Senate bonding activity by the Internal Development Subcommittee. Accordingly, the Senate will stand in recess for the Committee of the Whole. As a reminder, no business or votes can be considered during Committee of the Whole, and parliamentary procedure is suspended. So with that, I invite up the Internal Development Subcommittee to administer this bonding activity. All right, let's welcome up Morgan Kim, Chair of Internal Development.
I added like 4 more people just now. Would you be able to restart it?
Yeah.
If it's not too much of a hassle.
Yeah, I think you'd know how to do this more than me. Oh, also, sunsets at 7:10. I looked up, so for those who observe Ramadan, you may excuse yourselves. And if you miss the ending roll call, just email us and we'll excuse it, because I do anticipate it being a short meeting. So.
Okay, hi.
It's on
So
this.
I saw that it was going to be a pretty light meeting today, and Michael recommended that we do another bonding event. So who here has played Kahoot before? Yeah, basically everyone. So this is Gimkit. Kahoot, you now have to pay like $20 a month to actually host. So we're doing a game. LS face killed me, but we're doing a Gimkit instead. So it's just like gimkit.com, put in the code, and then it is trivia facts about like fun facts about SGA officers. And if you win, you get candy. Thank you to Michael and Melina for always supplying it. What? Yeah. Okay. we can. I mean, that would still only be like 5 committees, and we have like 7. So, we need to. Let me try to make like an educator account and fix this. I'm so sorry, guys. Well, no, but we found the important to set it, and that would take. Wait, you have yours from earlier though. I mean, I'll just.
Well, but only 5 teams, though, right?
Yeah.
Wait, is it just 5 people that can play it?
I
That
think
means
so.
that means teams.
We could do team. I mean, we could do teams, but
Can you guys like try to split up into like 5 teams? Like,
Should we count off? I think we should count off.
no.
Yes,
No,
come
no, no,
on,
no, no.
guys. This is way
Right.
easier.
Here's what I think. Like that way, like Tyler, Julia, Michael. Colin, Dave, Donna, Marcus, Esther, Sola, Ronnie had one team, Val, Ella, and the rest of you guys are just one.
no, but don't take too long, and like people won't complain.
It's fine. There's no prizers. Like, yeah. There's candy. You can always see them.
Smile. Yeah.
Wait, and you guys are gonna sit close to each other so you guys make it.
Just like, I mean, we're already kind of in groups, but just like pick like a team leader. Like, just pick a team leader to join on their computer.
Is everyone ready?
Not yet.
Wait.
No, not yet.
Oh wait, sorry.
It's fine. Hello?
Wow.
Is that a conflict of interest? That was a good catch, though.
I think you need to leave, Michael.
Michael,
Wait, no, that's the host computer, I think. Make one of them host it.
Guys.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait, hit the.
Don't blame us. What do I?
Can you disable joining as a player? Click that. No.
Where
wait,
is
wait.
that?
It's at the bottom. Like, go to the very bottom. No, not like click join as player. See if that toggles something.
Oh,
No, like right there. Yeah. Yeah, and then okay, try joining now.
No, but then that would disable spectators.
Well, you get to spectate.
I think we're a spectator now.
I mean, Ishan, you already saw the questions, so like.
Okay, yeah, I know.
Look at this here.
Is everyone in? These guys are struggling.
Oh my God.
That's so annoying. I'm sorry.
Wait, we're missing two groups.
people in here.
Do you guys just want to like mix groups? No, like mix groups. Wait, let me. Okay, try again. Are you in, Colin? Oh, okay. Huh? I clicked that before and like it didn't work. Are you guys in? Or are you guys also in? Okay.
Honestly, just kick everyone off and do it again. I think someone's in there and didn't take themselves out.
Who's Jacob? Wait, how do you kick people out?
You have another Jacob?
Just click on their icon.
Oh. Is there like an option to kick people out? Should we just like refresh it?
Oh man.
Can we
not someone?
No, but it's not him.
There's a fake Jacob.
There's a
Hello.
Identity theft.
Maybe this is why.
Jacob, is it you? Did you join that? Oh, that's you? Okay, we thought that was a fake Jacob in here. Sorry. Sorry. Esther, did it work? No. How do you end it?
Just
click that.
Like how?
is this how like grown adults feel when they're trying to like turn computers on?
I fear it is.
Jesus.
So
Are you
Fishtopia.
missing your thing?
It's. I said it starts at 7:20.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I have like. I don't think a lot of people are gonna show up. So.
Aw.
No, just because it's like a job. Like not a lot of people understand.
Wait, Michael, did you make an educator account or a student account?
Student.
I think Cass might have been right when it's like an educator account might have more. Or
Our
287.
educator account's free. I don't know. All right, guys. The code is 980959. I'll put it on the screen soon. I just want to like. This is way easier to. All right, we have SGA baddies. Is our first group.
Juliet.
All right.
Juliet.
We have Jacob, we have Juliet, and we have Goof E Gang. All right,
Is everyone in?
we need one more. It's not letting you.
Wait, Jacob, do you mind joining them? Cause like, it's not letting one person join. Just make a big team. It's fine. Juliet.
This is not going to work.
Juliet, do you mind leaving? Just cause like there's two people in like this like column. No, I love you, Juliet, but you gotta do it. What you gotta do.
Yeah. We just got this shit going.
He's joining them.
Yeah.
Try again. Refresh your thing.
Oh Lord. Why isn't this working? Goof E Gang. There we go.
No.
We got
Sean,
Cass.
Jacob's doing.
All right.
Oh, sorry, Jacob's doing it with them.
Cass group, stand up.
Stand up.
Cass group. Okay. Goofy Gang. Let's see Goofy Gang. All right. Jacob. Let's.
Like everyone in the back.
Where's Jacob's group?
All of them. Like all of them. Okay.
And SGA baddies. Let's see SGA baddies. All right.
We start.
Please join the nearest group. Yeah, let's get this show on the road.
Does it like show up here?
All right, guys. Here we go.
What is this noise I'm hearing? The fuck?
Do you get the questions?
No, well, like.
You just have to watch.
Oh, can you guys see the questions on your screen? This is so annoying. Oh, can you see it? Oh, so it's more of just like a. I am pissed.
Ishan, just walk around the groups and like watch them.
Oh.
I feel bad, but there are people who just got like split over by geography. I don't get it, man. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Reminder that you guys also have to fish. You can't just answer questions. Like you have to go catch fish with the bait you get from answering stuff. It's either SpongeBob or Fortnite. 5-minute warning.
So there were originally going to be images when we were going to do a Kahoot, but the Kahoot was like, you couldn't even post it. Check your email because there was some, yeah. It's like they don't have any. Yeah, it's not edited them out. It would have been so much better. It's fine. It's no, it's great. Yeah. It's not stiff. And like,
Is there a leaderboard? Can we see the score or no?
maybe at the top. Like the 3 people looking one.
So.
Two and a half minutes. 2.5 minutes.
Really close. Wait, does this close the leaderboard or close the game? Okay.
1 minute left.
Where's the speaker on this thing? I don't know. Who's to say?
It's so good. It's on the bottom of the computer.
Ten seconds.
I need to go.
10 seconds.
No, man, I went to the south.
3, 2,
Cass Group 1. 144 fish caught. Bluefish. That's very rare. Close second is Jacob with 88 cash. Third place, Goofy Gang with 60. I don't know if they use dollars in this universe. 60 cash. Fourth place, SGA Baddies. Yes. But the spirit is there. All right, $46. That's okay. They got it. Oh, we also have Jolly Ranchers too.
Okay, we're just gonna like give everyone a lollipop. So just like the bag's making its way around.
Everyone except SGA Baddies, they sold you that.
We also have Jolly Ranchers.
How do you go back to? How can I like let me go back to this page? Yeah.
All right.
So
if
here
you
are like
click
all
on
the
it-
correct answers to the questions. We sent out the form yesterday, and then I kind of just added like random people afterwards.
No way, really? Oh, okay. We'll talk about this. Okay, should we just go through? All right. So this person went skydiving on New Year's. Wanya Imran. Wow, very cool. All right. This person lived in Kansas for 2 years. Ella Bauman. Very cool. How was Kansas? Okay. Yeah. Love Kansas. This person qualified and performed in the Massachusetts All-State Treble
Wow.
Choir in 2nd grade.
That's so cool.
That's crazy. Who is this guy? This person has a hidden tattoo. Matt Lecuyer.
Okay, where is it though?
All right, let's move on. This person's celebrity crush is Olivia Rodrigo. Colin Humphreys. All right. She has some good songs. This person went parasailing once and loved it. Aryan Verma. Very nice. Okay. This person's favorite show is Naruto. Jacob Holohan. Solid choice. This person's fluent in 3 languages. Valeria Centenaro. Could you remind us of which 3? Come on. Nice. All right. This person is a legal resident of Ghana. Kamiya Hiranandani. Is Kamiya here? Oh, Kamiya. Oh my God. Very interesting. This person has had plastic surgery. Adana. Yes. Okay. All right. This person takes
This
their
one was crazy.
rooster to go get his picture taken with Santa Claus. Brian. Where's Brian? Oh, all right. That is quite the story. All right. This person received a rose from the governor of Puerto Rico. Ishan. Oh my gosh. Ishan had to excuse himself, but that's very interesting. This person's hair has been almost every color of the rainbow. Julia DeMarco. Which color did you like the most? Nice. All right. This person is the admin of the Apricot Kitchen on Instagram. All right. Bella Rabin. Everyone go follow Apricot Kitchen on Instagram. Support your fellow SGA officers. This person is an Eagle Scout. Cass Mello. All right, Cass. Very impressive. This person went to the same high school as the guy who wrote "Everything Is Awesome" from the Lego Movie, Cody Germain. How much older? How old is this man? Okay, all right. Okay, that's "Everything Is Awesome" is a great song. This person used to have a huge crush on Olaf. Hear me out. No. All right. Bisola, nice. All right, solid. I mean, he has a great personality. This person can do a one-handed cartwheel. Esther. Feel free to show. There's this so much space over there. All right. This person is a black belt. Morgan Kim. Oh my gosh.
I didn't know that.
Really? Yeah.
I'm like super out of practice.
Okay. That is quite the achievement. All right, 3 more. This person won their grades senior assassin. Oh, I know who this is. Melina. Super. So stealthy and yeah, awesome. All right, this person is a kickboxer. Jill. Wow. All right. And last but not least, this person can do a backflip. Marcus. Yes. Like on like a regular floor or on like a trampoline. Okay. No. All right. We have. Okay. Maybe in another future committee of the whole. All right.
So, real quick, one more thing. So, like on the form, you had the option to attach a picture, and like it was originally gonna be a Kahoot, and you could see the picture, but we blurred out some of the faces. So there are here are like the 3 best blurred pictures that.
Oh my god.
Yeah. All right.
So that's me.
Oh my gosh. All right. All right.
And then we have
With Olaf. That's definitely
and
Olaf.
then third
Yeah.
we have.
All right.
What are you doing to me, Morgan?
Oh, I didn't even realize.
This
Guys, which one's me?
this was
Yeah.
all Ishan, by the way.
Yeah.
But
Oh, the face blurring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I'm the one in the big shorts, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
All right.
yeah, that's everything I have.
Well, that was a good some nice bonding we just had there.
Thank you. Ivy.
Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you all for participating. Yes. All right. Well, with that, is there any other business for committee of the whole? All right. With none, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn the committee of the whole. Senator Nevins. Senator Nevins moved to adjourn committee of the whole and it's been seconded. All those in favor of adjourning committee of the whole, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. All those abstain, say abstain. All right. The Senate will be in order. The committee of the whole previously called in the session stands adjourned. All righty. Where is this agenda? So, no special orders were submitted to the Office of the Speaker 48 hours in advance. Senate has no unfinished business and no new business was submitted to the Office of the Speaker, meaning we will proceed with officer reports. The chair recognizes Trustee Oliveira. All right, President Humphreys.
Hello, everybody. I hope that you are buckled in because I have a little bit of a long one today. Yay! So, first of all, I just wanted to reveal to you guys that yes, driver's license was written about me. Thought you never knew that, but all right. To get into the serious news, I'm sure you guys are all aware. The chancellor sent out an email earlier today regarding some changes that are being made just to adapt to the current federal landscape. I want to first of all encourage everyone to read the email. In a gist, a couple of the main parts of it is they are not doing a hiring freeze. They are going to be basically reducing hiring that isn't deemed to be essential to the basic operations of the university. So the way that's going to work is ultimately Vice Chancellor Perdomo Ahmed and then the provosts will, depending on which department it's under, will have the sort of discretion on that. Additionally, any capital projects over $50,000 will also need to be given that discretion in order to move forward. And they are going to be reducing graduate admissions for programs that receive substantial federal aid. As you may also have heard, some of the PhD positions that receive substantial federal funding, there may be some people who have been given offers who may see that rescinded. And again, this is from the text of the email. I do want to note that I did check with the Vice Chancellor this morning. At this time, graduate and undergraduate employees are not expected to be substantially impacted by this, and undergraduate admissions are not expected to be impacted by this. So there won't be any change in that regard. It obviously is very concerning for our professional staff. However, there is not going to be any changes in undergraduate admissions, and there's going to be no changes to like undergraduate or graduate jobs. So if you're an RA or a PM, you're good. You know, if you work for like the dining hall or the buses, you're fine. You know, SGA jobs won't be impacted. Graduate assistantships right now aren't going to be impacted. So that's where we are for the time being. Obviously, this is a fluid situation. Things can change every day, but that's where we are today. So I wanted to provide some important context. I also wanted you to urge you to, when you're speaking about this, make sure that you read the chancellor's email, you know, get a good understanding of what's going on. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself, Michael, Dale, or any of the advisors, JD, Sid. It's best to ask than to assume, because there's obviously going to be a lot, you know, there already was a lot of rumors swirling about what could happen prior to this. And unfortunately, in these situations, what tends to happen is there tends to be a lot of information going around, especially because other schools are also making very difficult decisions right now. So this is something that's not unique to us, but is happening across the country. Obviously, this is not something that I think anybody on this campus takes joy in. I don't think anybody wanted to make these decisions whatsoever. However, you know, given the, you know, this is completely uncharted territory. I don't like, you know, we haven't seen a federal landscape like this in recent history at all. But I also want to give people some encouragement that you may remember. We recently went through a very, very difficult time with the COVID pandemic, where there was similarly a lot of uncertainty and a lot of difficulty and hardship. But, you know, we were able to come together as a community. We were able to adapt and see that through, and we were able to find, you know, luckily we got vaccines, we got solutions. So I do want to encourage people that, you know, this doesn't have to be permanent. This is something that, this is a period in time. And, you know, we do need to come together as a community to support each other right now, and to support this university, and to support each other as students, and continue to do our jobs each and every day to support the student body right now. So I did want to address that. I also want to make a quick note, and I want to be very clear, this is not happening at UMass right now. However, there are, at some other schools, there has been, unfortunately, some scams that have been taking place where international students have gotten emails saying that and calls saying that if you don't go to CVS and buy a bunch of credit cards, that you're going to get deported. Again, no cases reported of any UMass students, not UMass Amherst, I should say. There were some within the greater UMass system, but nothing's been reported at our university yet. The administration is aware of it, and I have highly encourage them to send out sort of a preemptive notice about this so that students are informed about the fact that this is a scam. And even with how unpredictable our federal government is right now, they would not ask people to buy gift cards to stop from being deported. So if anybody you know gets that, please spread that word. Those are scams. They should not buy the gift cards, and they should report it immediately, because it's really honestly super cruel that people are using this situation as a means of scamming people. But we want to protect members of our community, and I wanted to just put that out there just because I know it is happening in other places, and I wanted to make sure I didn't want to wait until after somebody got scammed here to get that information out. I think it's important to get that out now so that ideally no one here will get scammed. So wanted to put that out there as well. Now I will go on to my general report out that I have up there. There's a lot in there. I'll give you a couple highlights and I'll let you guys read through the rest because I don't want to bore you all night. But so today we did get the draft of the club sports memorandum. I have glanced at it, but I have to do a deeper reading of it tonight. We are meeting tomorrow morning to discuss the content of the memorandum, and if we have any concerns, we're going to be bringing those up tomorrow. I can say that the Recwell has been very, very good about doing this in an efficient manner, and they have been very cooperative in the sense of they've worked really hard and they've done a really good job putting this together. There may be some parts that we have to discuss tomorrow, but overall, we do appreciate how quickly they've been able to kind of get through this. And the good news is, very, very soon, I do believe we're going to have a signed memorandum, and that will finally put this thing in stone after such a long time after 9 years. So this is exciting. And once we kind of agree to a memorandum, we will of course just discuss the contents of that with Senate. Again, I know Chair Stamen's been looking at it pretty intensely, so she may have more to say when she comes up. I had a very busy day, and I was planning on reading it more tonight, so I won't comment too much on the contents. And if you have questions about the content of it tonight, I would maybe wait until Chair Stamen's report out. But overall, though, I am excited for this meeting tomorrow. Not to put her on the spot, but I am excited for this meeting tomorrow. And I think this is we're getting really close. So that's some really good news on that front, which will take a huge stress, I think, off of our student organizations. Also, off of our leaders and our student organizations. Also going really, really well is registry reform is getting really close. We had a meeting the Friday before break, went fantastic. I will be fully transparent. We talked about raising the minimum membership requirement to 20. The reason we are doing that is right now, quite frankly, we just don't have the capacity. And two, a lot of other large universities have higher numbers than we do. Everything that we've done has been done in consultation, in research of other large institutions. One of the things we found generally across the board with both registry and finance is a lot of our policies are akin to a smaller university and do vary significantly in a lot of ways from other similar institutions of our kind. And I think that's kind of where we're seeing a lot of our problems, because obviously we have a lot more students. Our budget's a lot larger, but also so are our budget requests. So the way that's going to work is right now we're going through the consultation process with SLSO and AA. Secretary Merchant, who has just done a fantastic job with this proposal, is going to be doing a committee of the whole presentation, I believe, on April 16th. Unless we're running ahead of schedule, then maybe it'll be earlier, but I think April 16th is looking like the likely date. And then I think the vote would be the following week, so probably April 23rd. So we're really excited. I hope that, we'll be obviously open to take senator questions, suggestions. But I really hope that each of you guys will support this. It's been a year in the making. It is a very comprehensive reform. It's going to really change the way we do our registry processes. We'll be able to give a lot more support to groups, and it's going to be a lot better on our officers. So this is super exciting that this is coming to a head, and this is going to be just a major thing for the SGA. So want to put that out there. I do have some like textbook related updates, but I'll talk more about that when we talk about the SABs. Because that was relevant to our SAB yesterday. So I'll come back up in a little bit. So you guys get to hear from me a third time. Yay. Otherwise, we food swipe donation, meal swipe donation. The meal swipe donation program, you may have saw on Instagram today. We do have dates. There's going to be 2 sets of them. The first one is tomorrow and Friday, so the 27th and the 28th. And the second one, there's going to be another one in the 16th and the 17th of April. I think that's right. But if you haven't liked and shared that post on Instagram, share it. If you want to comment, that would be great for the algorithm. So please do that. The way you do it is you go on the Get app. Is anybody here not familiar with the Get app? Okay, good. So you go on the Get app. It's pretty easy. You'll see an option to donate a meal swipe. You can donate a swipe and tell your friends to do it. Tell anybody you know. And if you want to see on our Instagram, we have a chart that says like what you can do for each meal plan. So regardless of what kind of meal plan you have, you can do it. We definitely want to see high participation in this program because, the more participation we get, we want to make this a permanent sort of facet of what we do here. So we'll get the questioning at the end of the report out, right? Sorry. So I'm almost there, I promise. But so highly recommend. Tell your friends to contribute. Tell them to participate. A couple of other quick things. I know I am talking a lot. We had a meeting of both we had a student advocacy task force meeting. The DEI task force meeting is going to be tomorrow. I have to send out the agenda for that. We have to change it. Well, I had the wrong date. Gonna be honest, I did a little mix up there. But student advocacy task force is going very well. I'm very happy to report that we are making really substantial progress on the food recovery network initiative to make it open to more days. We've identified a list of groups we can reach out to see about volunteers. We are meeting with the presidents of the food recovery network to see, what needs they have. And it does seem like something that will be feasible if we can put together the volunteer base. So that's something that is really exciting, and I could see coming together this semester. We're also talking about PVTA routes. We're having a lot of discussion about like which areas need more coverage. So if you guys if anybody here takes the bus and you have some suggestions, like please come forward and tell us your stories. It's super super important. Almost there. I just had 2 more things. So I'm sure Esther will talk a little bit more about this, but we have the contraceptive vending machine, which is going, so Esther had talked last time about how she got some free supplies for the semester. The only holdup there was a $30 per month charge to operate the vending machine. We're going to cover that from the operating budget. So that will be open for the months of April and May. That'll be available in the bottom of the campus center, and that will be right where the campus center auditorium is. There's a series of vending machines. Those of you who were here during COVID, that's where they had the COVID tests. You just go down the escalators. It's right there. So that's coming, which is just super exciting. We're going to work with President-elect Borowski and his team to make sure that there's a long-term plan to make sure that this is, funded throughout, this is paid for throughout next year. The good news is we did allocate money in the budget towards it. So that is the plan, both towards paying that fee and towards actually purchasing the contraceptives. So that is something we're going to make sure is covered next year, which is super exciting because this is, I think, especially with the attacks that are going on federally right now towards, reproductive rights. This is really a way that we can, this is a way that we can tangibly assist our students. So super excited about that. I'll let Esther talk more about this, but we are starting to plan a Know Your Rights event. Sojek and some members of the executive are going to be planning it. And we're kind of she'll talk more about it, but we're kind of envisioning a lot of different groups from across campus, encompassing many of the groups that are being impacted right now by, the things happening federally, being part of this. It'll be a great opportunity to learn, for group students to interact with services on campus, and to learn about what we have to offer here. So that's something that I'll let Esther speak more on, but I've been working on that as well. I know this is that time of the semester where things just get a lot of cool things happen. The final thing I want to talk about, actually two more things. Oh my God, sorry. We had so much going on right before break. Amherst Campus Council. I attended a meeting of the Amherst Campus Council that took place the Friday before break. Basically what that is a new group that includes representatives from campus leadership as well as leadership from the surrounding communities and throughout the state. And we were discussing how we can, prioritize economic development in the local area. And a couple of the things that came up was housing affordability, making sure that students have more access to affordable housing. And part of that is actually ties in. They're begging for us up there. And, if you go a few towns away, you'll find the housing actually gets a little transportation to and from there. So transportation was a big subject of discussion. And we talked a lot about they want, people from UMass coming in, students and faculty, because that would be good for their business as well. So we talked about that. That was a pretty big theme that we discussed. It was a great opportunity. Next year, Mike will be the representative on it, and there's going to be some great discussions there. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a good 4-hour experience. I got to talk with some state leaders, really cool people, and I really kind of talked about some of our biggest needs here on campus, and they were really receptive to those conversations. On Monday, I attended we had a hearing here of the Massachusetts Legislative Ways and Means Committee. They talked about higher education funding. Our trustee Felicity actually testified with President Meehan, and she was phenomenal. She talked about, she's not here tonight, so I guess I can kind of bring it up for her, but she talked about the need to have the Mass grant schedule begin earlier, because right now it is pushing right up against the deadline and students are unable to kind of plan for their needs for the following year, which has been a huge financial constraint on people. So she testified about how it impacted her personally, how it's impacted students she knows, and why it's important to move that up to an earlier schedule. A lot of the legislators were actually very receptive to that. There was also a lot of discussion around the federal cuts that are happening, and thankfully the state does seem very willing to increase funding for higher education and to support us through this. Luckily the Fair Share Amendment that got passed a few years ago, we're going to start getting seeing more of that impact our education. So that is some good news, a little bit of hope in this time. But overall, it was a great discussion. It was super cool to see. I saw some of you guys there, which is super nice. And yeah, so finally, last but not least, on Friday, we are having a conduct reform meeting. The goal is to get a concrete draft on that soon. Once the draft is concrete, we want to share that with you guys. And then we would like to see this get approved before the end of the semester. And we do have a lot of great suggestions right now. Our Attorney General, Kira Cook, is going to be taking a look at that and seeing if she wants to add anything, as she just came onto the team. The conduct advisor, she's also consulting with the conduct advisors. But once that's done, it seems like we're going to be pretty much have a final draft, and then we're going to go forward with getting that proposal up in front of you guys. Coming in the horizon, financial reforms that I discussed. We have revised some of them, but a lot of them are going to be coming in the coming weeks. So keep that on your mind. Emergency funding caps, they're coming. Then finally, to end off my nice, long, incredible report out tonight. Oh my God, what the hell is the last thing? The last thing I wanted to cover is, and there's so much good stuff. So yeah, that's the conduct reform. That's looking pretty good. Sorry I talked your ear off tonight, but supported stuff. It's good work. Things are pushing full steam ahead, and we have incredible people here in the room who have been really a big part of making that happen. So now I will open up to any questions.
Senator Nevins.
I have a few, so just bear with me. I apologize. The first is related to the email with Javier Reyes. He said that the Student Legal Services Office is going to be exploring potential external partnerships to provide international students with emergency immigration-related legal support. As a student government, are we going to be involved in that exploration and assisting the SLSO doing that?
Absolutely. So the SLSO is, funded through the student government and is supposed to actually be working at the sort of we are, they're supposed to be working for the student government. So we are absolutely going to be working with them with that. If that's something you're interested in being a part of, like reach out to us and we can have a conversation with Attorney Farrell. I'm actually going to pass it over to Dylan, who is working for the SLSO right now, and he can provide some context.
Secretary Bellerive for a point of clarification.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about that. They already do have some resources outside of UMass that they connect students with, and they're just looking to kind of expand that resource, which they're doing not even just for immigration, but for all areas of law, because it's great to have outside resources, especially with the current, very rapidly changing climate, which is causing a lot of issues that are, causing a lot of strain on the small office. So, yes, they're looking to expand in all areas to kind of find external partnerships like that. So yes, and if you want to hear more about it, anyone who wants to hear more about SSO, come talk to me. I'm like their #1 advocate, I swear. Okay.
All right, and then it's just a couple more. I don't disagree with anything about the registry reform. I agree with all of it, but as a member of groups that I'm a member of a group that's under 20 individuals. So I guess just acknowledging that, what is the process for groups that are under 20 going to be looking like? Because obviously they're not going to be able to necessarily renew as RSOs. So how are we going to be giving them time to potentially plan and get more members, or work to find a way to ensure that those groups can get funding if they so need it?
Yeah, so I can address it quickly. Then, Rania, did you want to add something on that, or do you want me to just do it?
Get a microphone.
It's not on.
Of course, there would be like no penalty for existing groups that are under 20. I don't plan to create that at the moment. I think that's definitely something that we need to work on. I don't know, Colin.
Yeah, so I would say my immediate answer is I think that it'll be at the discretion of the Secretary of the Registry, but my immediate answer is I don't foresee existing groups being impacted right away. I think that it would be first applied to new groups. So I could say with confidence that new groups will certainly be required to have 20. It is in discussion possibly when it comes to budgeting. However, I think we'd want to have more infrastructure for smaller groups. And actually that could be where the RSG comes into this. That concept can be workshopped into something that can be an avenue for those smaller groups to still have status, to be able to get space and to be able to get a smaller budget. But I would say in the immediate future, like, we wouldn't cut existing groups that are under 20 without having an alternative for them. So we do want to work on an alternative, because I think that could be something eventually that we want to see maybe them into a different status. But we would not cut existing groups without an alternative. So, we don't want to take groups' ability to operate if they're already existing. But for new groups, there'll be a pretty strict 20 minimum limit right away. And then, of course, once we create that infrastructure, which I'd like to do this semester, then there'll be a process for them to join as, like an RSG, if that's what we're going to call it. So.
All right, and then my final question, I'll be done, I promise. You talked about the conduct reform, and I was wondering what the status on the Student Bill of Rights that we've been working on is, and the inclusion of that, how the administration has been reacting with that and working with us on it.
Vice President Leone might be able to provide a little more context on that particular piece.
So basically we're meeting, I'll go in it more in detail when I speak, but basically on Friday we're going to meet with them. And so we're not going to basically make it like a student bill of rights. We're going to basically rework the current rights and responsibilities section that's already stated out. And some of the kind of policies that are described, we're going to workshop kind of on implementation of the code. So like how students actually understand, like if it says something that reads a certain way, so if something in the code reads a certain way, but the Dean of Students office doesn't really like enforce it that way, they're trying to like educate students more so on like how policies are actually like enforced, if that makes sense. And so we're partly, so it's kind of twofold. We're kind of like making sure that students are educated on like how the code is actually like enforced in certain ways, and then also make sure that students know like what rights they have. So that includes like you have the right to a conduct advisor, you have the right to due process and stuff like that. So we're kind of taking some parts from like the Iowa University's code, and we're trying to like steal some of their parts that they have in their rights and responsibilities section and put into UMass. So it might not officially look like a bill of rights per se, but it'll be more so kind of like revamped rights and responsibilities that students have, if that kind of answers your question.
Additional questions? Chief of Staff Bloom.
Not exactly a question. I just wanted to comment something on the swipe program. At least the last time we ran the program, you could, if you went online, it has like, you know, the place that you can donate, and it would only let you do one, but you can just like go back to the main page and go back in if you want to donate multiple, just putting it out there.
Yeah, I think that was a technical glitch last time. I
Oh.
know they were working to address it, but my understanding is that the system did not accept more than one. So they didn't take more than one bill swipe from anybody last semester. I know for some of you that might be a bummer if you wanted to donate more, but it took one from everybody who did it, and that's how they did it. They did one per student. So yeah. Yeah, again, it was first semester ever doing it, so there was still like some of the tech stuff still to be worked out. We'll find out tomorrow how much they've worked it out, but you know, it's a great program.
Additional questions?
All right, so finally, just executive and legislative leadership. We are going to have a little joint leadership meeting after. Please stay in the Cape Cod Lounge. This is where we're going to have it. The rest of Senate, I would hope, unless someone else has a long report out like me, should be fairly quick. So, you know, hopefully we won't be here too late, but it's going to be an important discussion. So please do stay if you are executive or legislative leadership. So that would be cabinet chairs and core 4. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. All right. Vice President Leone.
All right. I'm gonna try to keep this kind of quick, so I'm just gonna read kind of like what I wrote. Felicity gave a great testimony Monday about insurance students get the mass grant money when they need it. A very important grant for low-income students. And I will also be driving some folks to the State House. Ella in the announcement talked about how Phenon's going to the State House for 2 bills, so I'll be driving folks there. So if you want to come on April 10th, please let us know, and maybe I'll drive you. I also went to AA last night for the eligibility petitions for funding. Some great discussions and deliberations. It made me kind of miss the time when I was on the committee last year with Michael as chair. Colin covered most things as well. Conduct reform is happening Friday. We're going to finalize a lot of things then. Attorney General Cook is also going to mention some updates with the Minutes Matter policy Friday from like her perspective. And she was also working with, I believe, USC. So they had some comments that we're going to mention Friday as well. She can mention more in detail in her report. And yeah, most things in my report are pretty detailed. I also wanted to emphasize Senator Walker Hoover's comments. I'm blind right now. There he is. From this morning. Not this morning. Wow. That was wow. Okay. But I want to commend like his action, like him and the UMass NAACP for like the work that they're actually doing and the fact that they actually like went to DC and did like real tangible work. So I just want to commend you guys for doing that. And if any folks want to work on like a resolution or a statement or just want to talk about like kind of like what's going on in the world, feel free to talk with me after Senate or sometime in the week, and we can kind of go from there. But that's kind of most things. Does anybody have any questions?
President Humphreys.
It's actually a point of information. It's actually because Dale reminded me of it. It's actually pretty big. It was the little part of my report that I forgot. I do want to announce that Acting Attorney General Kira Cook has officially been nominated to be the Attorney General for the rest of the semester. Assuming she gets through AA, you guys will be voting on her nomination next Wednesday. So, I should say conditional congratulations.
Yeah, Kira's been great. So if she is confirmed, she's done great work. So hopefully Senate confirms her and we can continue the great work that we're doing for the rest of the year. So yeah, any other questions? Cool.
Thank you. All right, so for me, just a few notable things. I've started my one-on-one meetings with the winter appointed senators, which have been very, very nice to sit down and have a good conversation with. I've been working a lot on banquet planning. And so an RSVP kind of flyer thing will be sent out shortly to all SGA officers. But right now, the dates for the SGA end of year banquet is May 10th, starting at 3 p.m. The start time might change slightly, but that's what it is right now. Again, please be on the lookout in your emails for a link to RSVP to that. It'll be in the Amherst room of the campus center, which is a lovely, lovely space. All right. Also wanted to remind you all of the speaker election on April 9th. That is 2 weeks from today. Again, if you're interested in running for speaker or associate speaker, please chat with me or associate speaker Amaratis. And I also want to provide a reminder for leadership to stay after for this meeting. Any questions? All right, I'll hand it off to Associate Speaker Amaratis.
Hi, I just want to echo what Michael said and just come to us if you're thinking of running, if you maybe are still kind of in the works of, thinking about it and just want to chat, definitely come talk to us. We're pretty much always available, just shoot us an email. I said in my announcement already the thing about attendance and everything else in my report out. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, thanks.
I'll also add one thing though. ESO events need 2 of those every semester. And so we'll start adding links to our agenda emails for reflecting that you have gone to an ESO event and kind of getting that on the books. Yeah.
A mistake made last semester, maybe we just didn't make it clear enough, is that people were putting down their SABs, the student advisory boards, as ESO events. Those do not count. These are RSO or ESO events. You have to go to 2 of them per semester, like what Michael said, and we'll be sending that out shortly. And if you have any questions about something you've attended and are unsure if you can put it down, I would just shoot me an email and I'll let you know.
Yeah. Cool. Any questions? All right, let's move on. Who's next? Chief Justice, I don't believe she's here. RHA President. All right. RSO Council Presidents. All right. For Cabinet and committees, we'll do Cabinet first, obviously. Any pressing updates, any Cabinet member can come up to be recognized. Or any additions to your reports. Chief of Staff Bloom.
Hi guys. Sorry I wasn't able to get the report out in. I didn't realize it was that week because vacation. But I'm very pleased to announce that the bike share is officially up and running. I've given out, I think, 10 of the 24 bikes so far this week. I just started Monday, and that's been going really well. People are super excited. So keep an eye out for all the SGA bikes around campus. It'll be really great. And Yeah, I think that's been all for now. I've mostly been working on that, and now I'll be getting back to my regular chief of staff stuff. So I'm hyped for that.
Any questions? All right, Secretary Bellerive.
Okay. Okay. Hello. Is that working? Okay. Also did not get my report out. But I wanted to say a few things. I'm working on the bike share memorandum of understanding because the agreement has never been formalized. So I will be formalizing that this semester with the bike co-op. I am wrapping up the SNAP research and getting the consultation form out ASAP, and I will send that all to you to share out because we need a lot of consultation for that, for the motion, which we'll be drafting. I also did get the club sports memo that I have to look over tonight also. Just a draft of the MOU right now, but we're going to workshop that with them. And then I also just wanted to say real quick, for anyone looking to do leadership next year, I highly, highly, highly encourage you to apply. I'm pretty sure they close tomorrow is what they said. I just wanted to highlight that because leadership is very important, and I'm excited to see what Michael and Gianna do next year, and especially for finance, if anyone wants to do anything either in ways and means or finance, please, please, please talk to me. It is very, very important role, one of the most important roles in SGA, and it's a lot of information that you need to get before you start. So that I wish I had when I started. So please, please, please reach out to me. And I feel like that's all I had to say. So.
Any questions? All right, Secretary Goodchild.
I also missed my report out. Sorry about that, guys. I got more parking passes for the veterans, so that was cool to get. And out of the email I sent to Jonathan King at Parking Services, there might be a more sustainable way to have that initiative continue. And I'm just waiting to hear back from him. He's on vacation, so I'm going to give him grace. And then I've been in contact with the Air Force ROTC to try to continue with the Rec Pass initiative that I had. Some of them, didn't have access to the rec gym because some people in the ROTC program aren't UMass students, but they're just part of our campus because we're like the satellite campus for ROTCs. And I'm waiting to hear back from them as well, but I emailed them again today, so I'm hoping to hear back from them. If I don't, I'm just going to walk into their office because I've sent them a bunch of emails, but that's fine. And I've been collecting a bunch of testimonies for my meeting with the director of dining that should be coming up soon, as well as other relevant information. And I'm hoping to get a meeting scheduled with him soon. And then I've been meeting with the director of the Student Veteran Research Center to assist him with things that he needed and veteran benefits, and just touching base with them for some initiative ideas I have coming forward, and also just asking them if they need help with anything. And then I'm still trying to meet with one of my professors about TA expansion for veterans and more job opportunities for that. So more to come on that. And that's basically everything. Thank you.
Questions? All right.
Hi, everyone. I think
Secretary
Colin,
Merchant.
Oh, sorry. Hi, everyone. I think Colin did a really good job of summarizing the registry reform stuff I've been working on. But I need your guys' help with a huge project. For the sustainable supply closet that I'm working on, I am looking to collect information from RSO e-boards about what items they would be interested in having in the supply closet and what items they have available to donate. The incentive there is that they would get a really good spot for storage for those items. And of course, they'd also be contributing to the community and helping other RSOs with purchasing of items. So I'm going to send out the link to that form as a reply on the Senate email very shortly. So if you are on an RSO e-board, or if you have a friend who's on an RSO e-board, please, 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 please fill that out. We need that data to make this project possible. And yeah, that's that. And then also reiterating what Dylan said about cabinet applications. If you're interested in doing registry, please come talk to me because there are a lot of moving parts to the role. There's a lot of things that I wish I would have known before I applied. So please talk to me first. Thank you.
Questions? All right. Yes,
Okay.
I'm just blanking on the title.
Oh no, you're so
Acting
good. It's
Attorney
still
General
new,
Cook.
very
Yeah.
new. Hey guys, so I've been doing a lot of different things this week, but I think President Humphreys kind of gave a good overview of a lot of different stuff, so I won't go into an extenuating amount of detail. Essentially, we met with the Student Advocacy Task Force, and we're looking to expand PIV to Roots. I've working with us to email and go through the process of getting in contact with the people who would be essential in making those expansions, and we're still awaiting on some responses. In terms of the code of conduct reform, we have our meeting this Friday with the dean. So I'm going through and looking through my personal research, which was focused specifically on the minutes matter policy, which was something that I started doing when I was a senator in USC, and going through and adding that. So if anybody wants to kind of look and see what kind of things I'm adding or what kind of suggestions I'm adding, I'm totally open to going through that. Additionally, I was working with SLSOAC to get the director search committee formed. Essentially, this week we did come to all of the undergraduate positions we needed for that committee. But unfortunately, today our meeting went a little awry, so we have to reschedule due to a technological issue. But that's something also we're going to be working on to get a new director for SLSO in the next, couple months or so. So that's basically kind of what I did. And then I've been working with a student in specific on one conduct case for a little bit during the week as well. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out. But my report out was a little bit short, so I wanted to give you guys some more input as to what I was actually doing.
Questions?
Cool.
Thank you. Secretary Manuanga.
Hi guys, hope everybody this is too low. Hope everybody's doing well and taking care of themselves after spring break. Just wanted to remind everyone that UMass does have a bunch of resources for mental health or just resources in general. They have retreats, they have different things like that. So feel free to refresh yourself on the UMass Wellbeing website and different things like that. This week, a lot of my focus has been, again, on advancing a lot of the social prescription project. And if you don't know what that is, it's an initiative designed to connect students with non-clinical community-based wellness resources as a way to support their mental and physical health. One thing that we're doing is trying to get students access to art experience on and off campus because they found that there's like an innate connection between your mental health and engaging with the arts. So we're trying to get student feedback in this program to try to know what kind of experience the students would like to have included in this, what people like, what people don't. So if anyone is interested on giving consultation in that program, we're really looking for feedback and would love SGA feedback. I've also been continuing to make more progress on my projects related to sexual and reproductive health. I got a bunch of resources from Advocates for Youth that I'll be able to distribute on campus. They sent me even more, a bunch of condoms and harm reduction resources, things like that. So working on talking to different wellness bodies on campus and seeing how we can get it out. Also during spring break was National HIV and AIDS Awareness Month. So they gave me a bunch of resources to spread on campus related to that and to just be able to talk to people and destigmatize sexual STIs and things of that nature on this campus. And also we've just been reaching out to admin and seeing what websites we can update related to health resources that either don't have enough information or aren't as comprehensive as students would like them to be, and seeing what we can do there. And then I've also been putting together the health and well-being survey that's going to go out hopefully within the next month. So I've been reaching out to people and seeing what they would like included in that. So if you have any health related concerns or initiatives, maybe you're interested in pursuing but would like the data for that, feel free to reach out to me and we can see if we can get it in the survey. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. And Secretary Heblow.
Hello. All right. As you know, I'm your Secretary of External Affairs. I think Colin went into great depth about how the federal government will impact UMass for right now. So I won't touch on that too much, but I will say that from my understanding that UMass students for now will not be too impacted. I am concerned for international students right now. So we're currently going to do a survey on that we're working on, but I was going to release it this week. Then I realized it probably should be anonymous. So we're going to have to probably redo it and make it anonymous now, just to protect, international students and their voices. I would also just like to say, like, a lot of the stuff with the federal government, as students and as like young, college students, like we can do a lot, but we can only do so much. So just know, like, we have each other. We can get through this. For right now, we'll be fine. And if not, we'll do it together. Okay? Like, a lot of crazy stuff that we cannot control. Moving on, I attended the SAB, the University Relations SAB. The president of the UMass Foundation was there, and which I thought was pretty cool. And they went over how their fundraising endowment works, and they went into great detail about that. Currently, I think we're on track to having a really good fundraising, or UMass is having a pretty good fundraising season right now. Usually, the fundraising portion of it, the majority of it happens right now as we speak. So hopefully we'll be on track. They weren't too concerned about raising enough money for UMass. And lastly, town council was on Monday, and I'll update you with that on email. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns about external affairs, government, et cetera, et cetera? No? Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
we were informed on university relations. We were given previews to some branding ideas. They're looking for student feedback on what is appealing to us as students. And so thinking about good, what would have turned us away, anything notable. And so for next meeting, they're going to be sending us out more information, slideshows that they presented to us, and a survey. So if anyone here is interested, like, can you raise your hands if you're maybe interested in getting involved in helping university figure out what is good? Okay, so we've got some people. Okay, cool. So that may come up at next meeting, depending on how much is on the agenda, or I might just follow up with individuals on that. Also, they discussed the Bright Act. If you haven't heard of that, it's using the millionaire's tax money in Massachusetts as part of Maura Healey's proposal for her budget next year to give money to universities such as UMass for campus and building repairs and working to improve fixtures such as making buildings more climate efficient and more accessible. And so this is a huge amount of money, and it's a very rare capital infrastructure grant, especially for our university. And so someone from administration is likely going to be coming in the next few weeks to discuss that at SGA with more detail. So you can ask any questions there. If there's anything that you're curious about or would like us to follow up on beforehand, like, we're happy to do that as well.
I just want to say real quick, the Bright Act would be giving $1.5 billion to UMass. And while that doesn't, directly go into student welfare necessarily, it's still that's a lot of money for our buildings and stuff. And it's a huge investment in higher ed in a time where there's been a drought in higher ed investment for a long time in Massachusetts. And that's a lot of money, especially these days.
Questions? Chief of Staff Bloom.
For student outreach about what appeals to people applying to colleges, have they done any outreach with the local high schools and stuff?
I don't remember them bringing it up in the meeting, but I think that's something to definitely touch on.
Yeah, because if you could suggest that, there's the Amherst Pelham, it's so close, and there's a ton of students, so that could be good.
Additional questions? Thank you. All right. On to Senate committee reports. Any chairs who have any pressing updates? You may be recognized. All right, Chair Rabin.
Hi, everyone. Nothing really new to report. Colin talked a lot about OER stuff and the textbook library, and that's been my main focus at the moment. So, yeah, any questions? No.
Thank you. Chair Centenaro.
Hi guys, I apologize for not getting my report out in again. Same issue, just spring break kind of caught me in a loop, but AA's been working again continuously on our eligibility petition appeals. I do just want to appreciate how much consideration they take into every single motion, whether again it's just a quick eligibility appeal, there's still a lot of thoroughness that goes in to all the work that they do. So I'm just so grateful for how hard my committee works. Again, so we've completed our agency appeals considerations. We have one more hearing that's taking place next week. It was supposed to take place this Thursday, but due to scheduling conflicts with the group, we are just gonna postpone it to our next regularly scheduled meeting. Before spring break, I worked on finalizing the registry bylaws with Rania. We have our last meeting this Friday for that, so super exciting stuff. Colin already kind of covered the bases, but that's going to be getting done very soon, which is exciting. And yeah, as last thing, my committee has been divvying up, focusing on each title of our bylaws, and we have some exciting stuff that's coming up with that work that they've been doing. So that's just kind of been our behind the scenes. Now that we have some wiggle room in between agency and RSO appeals, we're going to be focusing in on those bylaws. But yeah, that's all I have. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Chair Nika.
Hi, everyone. Hello? Okay. Hi, everyone. So before break, my committee had our last Hot Cocoa Hot Topics event. It was a great success. Thank you for everyone who was able to come. The panelists were very smart, and we had a lot of great conversations at the end. This is going to be our last one. We had one in the fall, and this was our other one. Hopefully we can continue this next semester, because I think it's a great time for people to talk about different topics that's going on in our school. And then for our committee next, we're going to be working on a Know Your Rights event. I know President Humphreys talked about it a little bit. Still in the very early stages of planning, but we're hoping to be in collaboration with a bunch of different groups on campus and outside of campus, and touch on some things like First Amendment rights, immigration rights, LGBTQ+ rights, and more. So if you're interested in working with that and planning with us, please feel free to reach out to me with any topics you want to talk about, or if you want to be involved in the planning of that. Yeah, that's it. Any questions? Oh, and also for the Plan B vending machine, I was told that I'm receiving 200 Plan B, so that should be a lot for at least a semester and a half. So I think that would be really successful, and that should be coming in the next week or two, and I'll let you all know more about that as I hear more information. Yeah. Questions? All right, thank you.
Thanks. Chair Damon.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so sorry I did not submit my report out on time. Same excuse as everyone else, spring break. Didn't do much over spring break, but a couple updates for you guys. Want to apologize first. Benchmarking. I said I would be presenting on benchmarking immediately when I came back from spring break. Did not realize that the first Senate meeting we were going to have was immediately when we came back from spring break. So pushing it off till next week. I'm going to try and get that presentation finalized ASAP. The other thing is voting. The committee's finishing up voting on the recreational council this week. I'm really hoping we finish voting on ARSOs on April 9th so that we can start our numbers meeting and appeals, because it's almost time for the Senate to see the budget. Yay! Yeah, so
Yes.
Ways and Means.
Yes. Let's get ready for that budget.
I was not expecting applause for that one. So Ways and Means, we gotta hustle. All right. The other thing I have for you is club sports. Colin touched upon it earlier. We received a draft of the Memorandum of Understanding along with 4 other addendums attached, along with the club sports handbook for the Club Sports Council. And I literally just finished reviewing it while we were in Senate, because we received it this afternoon. And the meeting is tomorrow at 9 a.m. So if you have any questions about that, I'm more than happy to go over it, and touch upon something right now if that's something people are interested in hearing about. If not, I can touch upon it next week once we've reviewed it tomorrow. I don't know what the interest is. Do you want me to touch upon the club sports draft a little bit and tell you what's kind of in there? Is that an interest? Yes? Next week? Great. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I think that's really it. And I know people are thinking about cabinet positions, but if there's also people who are interested in Ways and Means and who are also, looking at our financial processes right now and thinking they want to change things, pretty please, before you make changes to emergency funding and to Ways and Means or finance anything, please come talk to me. Come talk to my vice chair. No one's talked to my vice chair about emergency funding, and I've heard 3 different proposals about emergency funding. We can't make changes without talking to her. So please talk to her. And that is it.
Any questions? Thank you. All right. I did want to add one thing to my report. For those newly appointed senators in the winter, some of you have not signed up for a one-on-one slot, so I just want to remind you all to do that, please. Cool. Okay. Let's see here. SGA advisor. All right. Let me get situated here for ending roll call. All right, here we go. 26th, roll call 2. All right. Denny. Denny present. Anim. Anim absent. Areola. Areola present. Bauman. Please, please, I need to hear. Bauman? Here. Beltrami? Beltrami excused. Black. Black present. Borowski. Borowski present. Batasova. Batasova present. Centenaro. Centenaro present. Chamu. Chamu present. Cook. Cook. Cook present. DeMarco. DeMarco present. Please, please, we just have a little bit left. I need to hear everyone. Duarte. Duarte. Absent. Easy. Easy present. Faciso. Faciso. Absent. Gatto. Gatto present. Germain. Germain present. Okay, present. Germain present. Yep. Ercole. Ercole present. Hernandani. Hernandani present. Holohan. Holohan present. Imran. Imran present. Jamay. Excused. Kim 2028. Present. Kim 2025. Present. Laquie. Laquie present. Lay. Lay absent. Lafort. Lafort present. Molesky. Molesky present. Malari. Malari present. Manda. Manda excuse. Mazando. Mazando present. Mello. Mello present. Nashi. Nashi absent. Nevins. Nevins present. Win. Win absent. Onyeka. Onyeka present. Patak. Patak absent. Fan. Fan present. Prabhakar. Prabhakar present. Rabin. Rabin present. Rue. Rue present. Sarna. Sarna. Oh, excused. She. She. Present. Stamen. Stamen present. Tau. Oh, Silverio. Silverio absent. Tau. Tau present. Tran. Tran absent. Verma. Verma present. Walker Hoover. Walker Hoover present. All right. The chair will entertain a motion to adjourn. Senator Mello.
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. All those abstain say abstain. The ayes have it. Accordingly, the Senate stands adjourned until April 2nd. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night. Leadership, please stay. Please stay,
Do
leadership.
you have the agenda or do you want me to pull it up?
I have it.
We'll start.